Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to model some aspects of the Waldorf PPG, its oscillators in particular, so that you know what I'm talking about. It's the synthesizer. It has, I think it's the first wavetable synth. So obviously its wavetables, its oscillators are digital. In fact, they are extremely digital in terms of that they are only 8-bit and have 64 wavetables, which can be switched to back and forth, but there's no interpolation. Then the sound was kind of rounded off a little bit, or quite a lot, depending on what you do with its analog amp and filters, which gave it its kind of unique characteristic, which is for which it is famous for. So, and of course, we're going to use our trusted grid for this. We zoom in a little bit. First of all, of course, we need a wavetable oscillator. And then one of the simplest things, I should not have hidden that, one of the simplest ways is, of course, just using Waldorf's own wavetables, which you can download here. It's waveeditonline.com, index 19. And I suggest just downloading all wavetables at once, which is the easiest way. And also the other wavetables, I think they're more than 700. They're really amazing. Not all of them, but a lot of them are quite interesting. So I suggest going here and downloading them. Now let's see real quick. I have imported them, by the way. If you are wondering, okay, I should kind of increase the window size here a little bit. Okay. If you're wondering how to import wavetables, I struggled a long time until I found the option, because in the old browser we had a button that said import. Here I tried everything, tried drag and drop. I think my default selection was like this, and then I tried right-clicking everywhere, and it wasn't showing up. So what you have to do is you have to select wavetable here, and then when you right-click in an empty space up here, it allows you to import wavetables. So, and then select the folder which contains the wavetables. So as I said, I downloaded these open source wavetables. That's just how I called them down here. And in here we have, I think it's about 45 PPG wavetables. Let's select one of them. Yeah, you can hear this kind of bristling on top. This comes from the fact that it is an 8-bit wavetables, which means it has only 256 amplitudes that it can display. And if we want kind of a more accurate behavior, because the PPG did not interpolate between the single waveforms, we can simply press this button here, which then does not interpolate anymore between the wavetables. It just switches back and forth, and you can now hear how this sounds different. So, but now where things become a bit more interesting is when, for example, we want to use our own wavetables, but imprint the kind of signature sound of the PPG's wavetable oscillators onto them. So let me just select one wavetable. So I can, now when I enable this feature here and step, so that it steps between the wavetables, well, it depends a lot on how many wavetables are actually, or waveforms are actually in there. Can be 64, can be 256, I think. So we have no guarantee that this stepper will actually then conform to the behavior which we have on the PPG. So we have to do something to emulate this behavior. And what we will do is we will modulate this from the outside. Well, actually, we don't need this one. We can use the chord here. So we need a value. And then we're going to divide the signal into discrete portions using a quantizer. And the numbers of steps we're going to get by doing a division. And as I mentioned, we have 64 steps. So 64 steps here, and let's grab value readout just to look at it. Now, these are the value jumps it can make. Now it will go from 0.016 to 0.032 and so forth. And when I connect this with the quantization input and run the signal from the value through the quantizer, I get this stepping behavior. But okay, this is only one part. We also need to get this kind of 8-bit resolution. And let me grab, not a spectrum, an oscilloscope. Switch it to pitch so that we can monitor what's going on. We probably won't see that much because the resolution at 256 steps is already high enough, at least on this screen, so that you cannot really see the stepping, but we can demonstrate that in another way then. So first we're going to turn off this internal phase and grab a Phasor, wire it up. Okay, now we're back to where we started, exact same behavior. And as before, we're going to use a quantizer to divide the signal into discrete steps. And here we're going to do the math for an 8-bit calculation. So we need a few constants. We need, not this one, power. And 8-bit is base 2 to the power of 8, which means actually 2 is the number of possibilities. We have a row of 8 zeros or 1, so we have 2 possibilities. It can be 0 or 1. And we have this 8 times, and 2 to the power of 8 gives you the number of possibilities and the number of values that can be displayed. And as we can see here, these are 256. Okay. Now we need to divide, I'll take this value. No. Yeah, we need another constant. And 1 divided by 256 gives you the division that we have to do, have to apply on this signal. Now with 8-bit you don't see a lot, but when I now reduce this number to like 4, 4 gives us a 16-step resolution. Now you can really see the stairs occurring, and the signals is really heavily distorted, which can be interesting. You don't have to be on 8-bit. And now let's listen to it. Yeah, I think you can hear how it adds this kind of harshness on top of it. Okay. Now, a lot of people in the first version thought like, yeah, this sounds extremely harsh, and wanted to do something about it. And that's why they ended up adding an analog filter, of which we have, of course, an emulation here. And it shows the XP filter because it is modeled after a SEM filter, as far as I know. And this is the one who comes closest to what was used in the PPG. And the PPG had a low pass, 24 dB low pass filter, or 4 pull. So let's, no, of course not here. Here. So let's wire this up and maybe grab an ADSR envelope. Control the shape. Let's grab something else. Yeah, depending on how the wave looks, you can hear more or less differences, because the finer the resolution is here, the more difficult it is to represent it with only kind of 256 amplitude steps. Let's add some distortion. Not using this one. Now, if you want to emulate a little bit more of the PPG, it had 2 ADSRs and an additional AD, which could be used to modulate the wavetable position. So we have, of course, to manipulate it through this value knob here. Grab modulation out and attenuation knob. Wrong output, as always. That's some delay. Go. Yeah, let's try some different wavetables. I usually, in this case, stay away from too complex wavetables because they just end up sounding extremely harsh when you add quantization. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, I think it adds a really nice kind of lo-fi quality, especially to simpler waveforms like sawtooth or sine wave. Okay, now the PPG, of course, also has 2 oscillators, so you can just take this entire construct, duplicate it, wire it up in a mixer, and have fun. I hope this was interesting. and comment, like, subscribe, and see you next time.